you're listening to the Mackay T Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Ryan Mackay and T Davis.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. T, how you feeling this morning?
God is good, Brian, all the time.
Well, let's see how good things are. The Gators are out. The Lakers are hurt.
Yeah, we got God is still good. Wasn't surprised. I said they gonna play around and Oral Roberts gonna get them because they played around with Virginia Tech and almost lost that. Not fouling anyway. Another story for another day. I didn't see the Oral Roberts game, but when you said how they lost, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Oral Roberts is playing.
They're a solid team. It ain't like they got they awful. They got a solid little squad.
Let's stick with the men's tournament and let's go to another quote unquote Cinderella, even though they're much higher.
Okay, time out. One thing, second.
Okay.
You brought it up.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up. Go ahead.
Plinko, you better go out here and make some moves, though, because we need some help now. The big dog hurt. The little puppy hurt, and the big dog hurt. We need some help. All right, we back.
Oh, Rob, get to work, Rob.
Get to work. Key.
Just in the essence of time, we're just gonna hit some major points from the first two rounds of the men's tournaments. And Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean back in the thing, and making things hard for folks. They are going to the Sweet 16 after their upset win against Illinois, the number 1 seed. And just to pat myself on the back, I have a tournament challenge with a group of friends and family, and I was the only one in the entire group that picked Loyola Chicago to beat Illinois. Some folks even had Illinois going all the way to the championship.
Yeah, y'all done. Yeah,
so I'm gonna see y'all later as I ride, because I struggled in the first couple of rounds. I'm not gonna lie, I picked some I thought upsets that would happen, did not happen. They were close to happening, they didn't make it. So I was struggling. I was at the bottom of the bracket for a minute, was being made fun of. But I took I rode Sister Jean's prayer wave all the way to the top. And so that is where I sit. Go Ramblers. We look, just us Ramblers. Just us.
Oh, now it's a we, Lord. Oh, now you're a Rambler fan. I think it's fun cheering for them. I think they got a solid team. Who they play next?
You asked me too many questions.
I think they got a chance because they have a solid, unless Illinois was off. I hadn't seen Illinois play, so I don't really know how they normally play. But they were solid defensively.
Everybody was praising Illinois coming into the tournament. I mean, I saw ESPN pundits that had them going and making deep runs, and I just didn't see it. I mean, I watched them in the Big Ten tournament, and that's pretty much the only time I saw them this year, but whatever.
I didn't see any, it's really not any, superstars on teams. It's a couple of people that be like, oh, what the kid from Iowa, the big white guy. I think he kind of a star, I guess, quote, for this generation of NCAA basketball.
Listen, Loyola Chicago going to the going further because they're gonna beat Oregon State. That's who they got next.
Yeah, so they could very well because if Oregon don't figure out how to beat doubles, the guards, and the dribble handoff that they ran every play.
They ran a couple of different variations of it, but it was basically the same thing.
Same play, and they could not figure. And I'm like, did y'all not practice this? There's no way that this is a new play. But as efficient as they running it, there's no way this is a new play. Who is a scouting report? Going probably too deep for most people. But who's on scouting report duty? Because see, each coach get a different game.
Right.
Who had this scouting report? Y'all did an awful job, and I can't say it because sometimes we both been on the bench and be like, this ain't nothing that we practice. Like what they out to execute? That ain't what we told them to do. So that could be what happened.
Listen, the one and only scout report Renee ever let me do was against Southeastern Louisiana. They came in there with that triple post offense. I wrote it down. I had the practice team run it all week long, and they almost lost to them on the school day game. So,
yeah, you never know what the young minds be out there doing, but yeah, they couldn't stop that play, and I was like, I like the play, and it's really working for y'all. So keep running it, cause they didn't go into a zone. They just kept playing man to man and getting beat. I was like, okay, well, that's how y'all want that to go down.
We already talked about Florida being bounced by the other Cinderella, Oral Roberts. We could talk about Buddy Boeheim, Jim Boeheim's next to Ken.
Is that his government name?
Buddy,
Please say that Buddy ain't.
I'm assuming probably not, but
oh, thank you.
Buddy is what they call him. So yeah, he is lighting up things in Syracuse's bracket.
But Buddy said Dad told him to keep shooting.
Hey, if you're gonna be a coach's son, you better be able to shoot. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Keep shooting.
So they will play. Yes, let me get my schedule here. ESPN trip. They got Houston next. Yes, indeed. Houston almost lost to Rutgers last night. They came back and got them in the last second. That would have messed up some brackets. But let's be clear, the brackets were busted within the first 28 games. First 28 games were played of this tournament in the men's side, and there was 0 perfect brackets. So, yeah.
Who was that I started texting you? Oh, it was Oral when they beat them. Was the first upset. Was that a 5-12?
I think so.
Okay. Anyway, it's gonna be fun, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say this too, Brian. I want to say this because I'm sure not that people be remembering what I'm saying on these podcasts. But I was, how I was like the basketball was bad, and it still is for the most part. Fundamentally, one thing I did like about like Oral Roberts and Loyola Chicago is that they were running and trying to three. They knew what they would get a spot by the key or by the top of the well, not the top of the key, but just inside out that little semicircle, and they would pull up, try to go too far in and shoot floaters and get charges, or go into the defense. They would just pull up or drop it off to the big fella and throw him a lob. Or Roberts would take what they gave. They shot threes if they were open. But some of these teams are like if they don't get a three, it's just like, okay, that's all y'all offense. Because Illinois didn't try to go into their big man at all.
No, and that's where they should have stayed. They should have stayed right there with him.
And say either get that big guy in foul trouble. Because see, if you get the big guy from Loyola Chicago in foul trouble, the offense don't work as smoothly because they can't just run that pick and roll and lob up to him, because I don't think the next person coming off the bench is as big and as skilled as he was. But they didn't try to get him in foul trouble. That's coaching though. But anyway, the play looks better than it has all season. And I haven't watched a lot of games, but I was just like, this just looked sloppy. But understanding that, tournament, the cream of the crop is there, like the best in their conference, the top players in the conference, and playing with more urgency. That's why it looks better to me. Like they play a little more crisp and, like I said, with a little more urgency. Because I saw some, I was like,
other teams to highlight: Ohio University, the Bobcats. They upset Virginia. Lord have mercy, I can't read
that's
this.
hilarious.
Virginia, and I just have to say this: Virginia, Tony Bennett's team has been well known for its defense, but and I understand they won a championship in 2019. They were the defending champions for all intents and purposes. but they are the same team that lost a 116 game to Maryland,
Yep,
Baltimore
they're the only
County.
one. Yeah, they it.
Yeah. And no offense to Ohio. Ohio, Jason Preston is a very good story for those following Ohio. He and I'm gonna screw this up so bad because I don't have my notes in front of me. But basically, he didn't hardly play any high school ball. He didn't make the team. He went to prep school. Um, basically, like just on a and asked to play for like the C team at this prep school just so he could get more minutes. Made a
Okay,
highlight film, put the highlight film together, sent it out, got a scholarship to Ohio, and now he's playing in the Sweet 16. Well, actually, they play tonight, I believe. So he's got a chance to play with the Sweet 16. So it's a nice story.
well, you know that's what that everybody should be trying to get a job, and that should be the way.
They play Creighton tonight, which is a team they can beat. So I believe they can move on to the
Creighton had a
Sweet.
scare.
Say that again.
Creighton had a scare in they first.
Yeah, they played around and they like to not move down. Oh my goodness! But let's see who else plays tonight. LSU. I think LSU could take Michigan. They're athletic enough, and Michigan still mess around. I know their best player is still working his way back from his injury that took him out the Big Ten tournament. Yeah, I think that's definitely a
But you want to
possibility.
stay, don't get kicked out of the more game.
And I love
They had to
Iowa.
hold him back. I was like, what happened?
I think Iowa is going to beat Oregon. It's 2-7 game tonight. Big Garza, Luca Garza, Luke Garza, Luke something other. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. This morning I'm just awful
I
in the
don't
mood.
wore off on you.
I can't read and yeah. And Gonzaga better stop tripping because I got them going all the
Gonzaga,
way.
Baylor, this y'all on the chance. If y'all ain't gonna win it now, this is prime time for y'all to win this thing. If y'all don't, oh well. Y'all just keep coming to the tournament and show up and go home because yeah, it's about time. People keep ranking y'all one and high, and y'all let somebody down. Not me. I don't care, but y'all usually find a way.
Um, just in the just the mode of poorly transition, which is basically the theme of this morning with me apparently. Uh, before we talk about, let's just go over a couple of things about the first couple of games of the women's tournament. If you'll humor me for a second before we get into the amenities, inequalities, and the like. Let's see. South Carolina, North Carolina State, UConn, Baylor, all the main schools took care of business. North Carolina State played around with North Carolina A&T for a little while, but finally took control of that game. The star of the tournament is always has my heart because I love the way she plays. Iowa's Caitlin Clark, freshman point guard, led the nation in scoring, second in the nation in assists, and top 5 in the nation in 3-point field goals made. This girl is special, and I hope she keeps rolling. If they win their second round matchup, they have a chance to play UConn, which is Paige Becker's their freshman point guard that everybody loves. ESPN dotes over, and I'm so sick of hearing about her. I hope that Iowa plays against her, and I hope Caitlin takes her down. That's my hope.
But it's a team sport, and so Caitlin won't and end it down alone. But go ahead.
Oh, she got big Sinano in the post, big post player for Iowa that is right there with her. Yeah, it's a team sport, and she got some teammates. And UConn, obviously, UConn always has a nice little team. But yeah, so the big dogs took everything in stride. Kentucky played around with Idaho State, so that's why I think Iowa's gonna win the second round matchup because that's who they play, Kentucky, and I think they're gonna take Kentucky down. Ryan Howard and the Wildcats just have not lived up to expectation this year. I don't know if it was
Well,
Matthew
people
going
out here mad
down.
because they didn't get what they thought they deserved.
And let's see. Oh, Florida Gulf Coast, a team I've had going to the Sweet 16. They will beat my Michigan, but Michigan that's not a surprise. Honestly, I was just picking Florida Gulf Coast on a whim because I like their coach and I like their system. Michigan has Nas Hillman, Big Ten Player of the Year, and post player who can really flat out play. And she just was too much for Florida Gulf Coast. Just didn't have the size to match her. Oh, and Baylor 101-52 over Jackson State. What a shame. What a shame. Shame.
They
Shame.
knew they were gonna get beat like that.
What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. And I'm being petty. I apologize this morning. What a shame. 101.
No, that was gonna happen. Period.
Yes. For anyone who doesn't know, I have another podcast that I do, the B-Side Podcast with Brian Mackay. And this week I did some previews of the NCAA tournament. And the one team that let me down, every other team I reached out to got me who I asked for. One team that let me down, Jackson State. My right here in my home state. Tried to do a little something for my home state team. And I just think the SID, bless his heart, I think he was just overwhelmed because the email he originally sent me in reply after about 3 days of nothing, he was very apologetic and said that ABC and ESPN just been wearing him down, but he'll get to me either Friday or Saturday. Friday or Saturday came and went. I never heard from this man again. So, like I said, the only team that let me down, Jackson State. So what a shame. What a shame. What a shame. The best game yesterday on the women's side, as far as dramatics, was Georgia Tech's win 54-52 win over Stephen F. Austin. Nell Fortin and them got a little scared. Stephen F. Austin came to play, and they almost got him. Almost got a 5-12 upset right there. So that was I fell asleep and I missed the Washington State South Florida game. I was hoping Washington State would get them. Washington State's first time in the tournament since 1991, and they have a sister duo. One's a senior, one's a freshman. The freshman is the better of the two, if you want to call it what it is. But they're very exciting to watch together, and I was hoping they would make a little run, but it was not to be. And obviously Stanford, the overall number 1 seed, beat up on Utah Valley. So yeah, we got more women's game tonight. So we're really not a lot to talk about just yet for the women's side because they just got kicked off yesterday. Oh, everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, not a lot to talk about as far as game wise, but we do have to touch on what went on all last week as far as the tournament of amenities, inequalities, and the like. So yeah, so first reports came out. There was some coaches and some strength and conditioning coaches that were posting video and pictures of the weight room that they had set up for the women. And then players got involved and they started posting on Snapchat and Instagram and things like that. The weight room that they set up for the women was basically just a stack of little bitty dumbbells and a couple of yoga mats and some maxi pads and things like that. And then you look over at the men's side and they
You
got a
ain't seen
whole.
no maxi pads.
Huh?
Stop it. You ain't
What?
seen no maxi pads.
Oh no, they was there. They was there.
For real?
Yeah, they had
So
a box
women
of.
products?
Yeah, it had a box of them. Yes,
I
but
thought you was playing.
yeah.
I didn't see that. I saw the girl show the little one dumbbell thing. No, my go ahead.
No. So and then you look over at the men's side and they got a full, basically gym set up for them.
Did they have some condoms over there with them?
They did not, but
Oh, okay.
I guess when they can only. Never mind. I'm not even gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole. I'm gonna let it go. No. So yeah, so there was that, and then obviously it got deeper when you find out that the PCR testing that the women have is different from the one the men have. It's actually like 30 or 40% less effective than the one they gave the men. And you obviously think first thing you think is, oh, they didn't want to spend the money. And then moving on from there, you had the food deal where the players were showing videos of the food. But at the end of the day, the food thing can kind of be debunked because you basically you're buying your own food school by school. So
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. You need to talk to your coach when she was showing that Salisbury steak plate something. And I was like, the DOB about it, the Dobo as some people
mm,
call it, about it. Like they talk coach and decide with the either with the hotel or whoever, like what food y'all gonna eat for pre-game and post-game and whatever.
I
That ain't
mean,
the NCAA.
and I was sharing everything that I would find that I saw come across my feeds with you, and honestly, it, I didn't really take it seriously. I mean, I took it seriously, but I set up and got my attention when people like Tara Vanderveer from Stanford, Don Staley of South Carolina, Joni Crenshaw Taylor at Georgia, people like that started speaking out. And I mean, Gino's the one that made everyone aware of the PCR testing that was different from men and women. Uh, when people like
Okay.
that start
So
speaking
what?
out,
Do you care enough to protest and say we're not playing games until things are better? Nope, you don't. You scared about losing the championship. So if
right?
you want equality, you got to do something to get people's attention. Now they might be like, well, we don't care, but y'all do make money. Like they do make money,
Mm,
and ABC and whoever else they show their games on, they expect games to be played, or somebody gonna want their money back or something. So if you really want some changes made, start telling us about it. We can't do nothing. The NCAA, like I asked you, Brian, I was like, so if the NCAA is breaking a Title IX rule, who do you go to? Now, I mean, I guess they can sue in their home state or go to where NCAA's main facility is.
hmm
But at the end of the day, be like, well, we're not playing until y'all get this right.
Yeah.
Watch how fast the NCAA start getting something right.
Well,
We're not going to be owing people money.
they well, this is the sad part of it to me, that how quickly they came in there to rectify that situation once they were getting so much bad press out there. Like, why didn't you just do that from the beginning? And they acted like there was not enough room. There was plenty of room. There was their overall goal was to do something of that fashion by the time the Sweet 16 got here. Well, by the time Sweet 16 gets here, teams are not gonna be those teams left are not gonna be lifting weights and things like that.
I don't know man, why they need all this weight stuff. I don't. How much weight lifting you doing? Okay, yeah, it's this different. They stand in a bubble, but you shouldn't really be doing that. Like most of the time, you should be recovering,
hmm
um,
Stretching.
getting ready for the next game. Like, right, that kind of stuff. You ain't doing no heavy lifting, doing no, especially this late in the season. Maybe they don't change the game. I know we wasn't no heavy. Where every blue moon, maybe once a week, we might have went in there and did some light stuff. But they had hacks, squats, machine, all kinds of stuff in there. And I was like, who doing this stuff? Like,
Yeah.
anyway, you won the tournament.
Well,
They telling you don't push your legs
I'm
and
gonna
don't
be
be out walking
interested,
around.
and I don't know how I'm gonna get my hands on it, but I'm gonna get my hands on it because I want to see the ratings for the opening round of the women's tournament. Because all these people that will come over to the women's defense, I hope to see that they actually took the time to watch the games yesterday. I watched every women's game that was played yesterday. So, but I'm also a
I
women's
watched
basketball
them
fan.
TSU
So,
Tennessee, but I don't have cable, so I wouldn't all I could see. It might have
um,
been another game on. I was probably gone out of here by then.
yeah, Baylor and Jackson State. That
No, I ain't
That,
want to
that
watch that.
unfortunate
That
scene
was a
was
debacle. Them getting beat
that
to death.
unfortunate scene. So unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean, just like Black Lives Matter and black people be protesting, women, you gotta do the same thing. You gotta be willing to be like, okay, well, we not playing. It can't be Jackson State that say that. It's gotta be somebody that's got something to lose.
Right.
If you really concerned about it, Gino, tell you know Don Staley. Y'all call each other. All right, are we gonna agree not to tell them we not playing until they fix this?
UConn would have been the perfect team to start a movement like that because of how much press they get throughout an NCAA tournament. Because they just feel like it's UConn Invitational, the way the media is.
And it would be nice to see a man standing for women as their coach is a man. The head coach is a man.
And the
You
sad part
benefited
is,
from all the women playing. All the women that have played for you have benefited and made millions of dollars and become the top. So, and I know this is a team, like his team, but as a coach, some of that is like, I don't want to be the one that, have my name attached. Nope. Just like we talked about John Thompson when he didn't agree with Prop 48 or 42 not 42. Gino could have been like, "Well, I'm boycotting the game. Let them play. Let whoever coach them. Like that's kind of how that happened." And they made change. The NCAA made changes because then they knew it looked bad. So it ain't like you out here with no kind of recourse.
well, and he's not even in the bubble yet because he's dealing with the COVID, so he
All
can't
right.
even.
So he ain't in the bubble, but he still could talk to whoever and been like, because see, one team ain't gonna take it and then have somebody have an easy road to the championship because, you know, the one or two good teams decided they weren't gonna do it.
Right. Well,
But yeah,
shout out to Dick's Sporting Goods.
right. Good job, Dick.
Came in there and took their bad press from the NCAA and made a good press for them as
They showed up with the U-Hauls.
they came on in there and fixed up the women's um, weight room and their amenities and made things much nicer. And it does look good in there. When Holly Rowe was showing everybody on TV how things look, I was like, that's pretty neat. And yeah. So
But
the
this is
games. Oh, go
I
ahead.
just want to say one more thing though.
Go ahead.
This speaks to also what we say reading is fundamental. One of the posts you sent me said that they were told in that booklet
Right.
that this was going to happen.
That was Georgia's Joni Taylor that said that.
So if you read the book, you didn't think that was appropriate. Why didn't you fuss before this all go down? And because they act like they got there and was shocked, like, oh, they lied to us. No, they told y'all that's what they was doing. And if you had a problem with it, it seems to me that somebody should have been calling like, hey, come on. Because this is a little society. All the basketball, not all, but the majority of them know each other or somebody on the staff knows somebody.
Right.
Hey, did y'all reading this the same way? Yeah, I don't look like we're going to have no weight room. Y'all know somebody in the men's side. Not that you needed to call them, because if you thought you needed a weight room, then you should have been like, call NCAA headquarters. We need a weight room. So it's a lot. NCAA obviously is the biggest culprit, but if you had read the thing and you didn't agree with it, don't. Because I thought they didn't know until that person posted that. I thought this was a shock.
Right.
But I guess if you didn't read the paperwork, then that's how you get bad loans in a way.
Well, like you had said about the men's tournament, I'll reiterate that and say it about the women's game as well. The games have been very, very good to watch. The fundamentals have been a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Um, just the overall viewing experience has been very good.
Yeah,
Considering
because they playing with urgency, Brian, and everybody playing, giving they all. And not that people don't play hard, but you play a little harder when you know it's the end. You lose, you go home. It ain't lose and then we'll play next week.
yes, and yeah, so I'm interested to see how things go moving forward. I'm gonna be watching every minute of it because that's just who I am. And yeah, it's been
Yeah, I'll be
interesting.
taking a peek over at the NIT and see what happened over there on that side.
Oh yeah, let's talk. Not to labor on the point. I just want to go. I just want to say, hotty toddy, go Rebels.
Gosh
Uh,
almighty.
Ole Miss women's basketball rolling into the quarterfinals of the women's NIT. They'll play Colorado this evening. So after they beat them,
Go get it
we're
done.
we're gonna move on into the semifinals, and we're gonna run the WNIT and show the NCAA they should have put us in the tournament.
No, no,
Go
no,
Coach
no, no.
Yo and the
No, no,
rest
no.
of them.
Y'all want we wouldn't have won the NCAA. Let's go ahead and take this championship and build off of it. I told you that at the beginning. That was my go to the.
Hmm.
Don't go and lose in the first round or second round. Go ahead and go to the WMIT and win it all. Get your championship. Get that feeling in their spirits. How I feel to win a championship, and then
Yes.
build on next year and be ready to come back.
But speaking of hotty toddy, let's get into the top 5. Hit the button.
It's time for the top 5.
Top 5 this week. College and or university chants and songs. I'll go first, obviously. So
Yeah, let's show roll in this.
yes. uh, so my first one. Let me just start right off with kind of breaking of the rules.
And you laugh.
It's not necessarily a chant nor a song. It's actually more of a tradition, but I had to put it in here because I wasn't gonna put Rocky Top or Woo Pig Suey. They made honorable mentions just because I wasn't gonna put them in my top 5 though. So my top 5, my number 5 is Taylor University's Silent Night Game. I love when ESPN puts this
Okay,
on.
so you cheat. Now this ain't okay. No, that ain't cheating because I make up my own rules too.
Thank you,
Because
thank you.
that's a one
Yes,
time, but
yes.
that ain't
You
even a
heard it.
chant
You
though.
heard people. You heard her. She
No,
admitted.
no, that's
Yes.
true. But at least I be close to the rule. This a one time event, and it's a really cool event. But this is a one time event. This does not happen. Well, go ahead, tell the people what they do. I
Thank
know
you.
exactly what you're talking about. Go
Thank you.
ahead.
So Taylor University, they spend one game a year where they do a silent night game, and their crowd stands completely silent until the team scores its 10th point of the game. Don't understand why it's 10th point. Never got that far into it, but the 10th point of the game, and then they just go nuts, and they dress up in these little Halloween outfits and
Yeah, it's like
everything.
they having the Halloween
Oh my good, I
night.
love it. So I had to put that as number 5 just because, and even though it's more of a tradition than anything else. Number 4, I really did this one for T to make her upset, but I also think it's pretty cool when they actually do it. The Florida State War Cry.
Oh no,
Little bit in 2021 it's probably a little bit
no,
non PC, but
no.
but the Florida
That
State
ain't it.
War Cry. Number 3, Rah Rah Carolina. North Carolina's war chant.
I wonder if I haven't heard these. Go ahead.
Oh, they end it with go to hell, whoever they're playing, but basically it's go to hell go to hell State for NC State or go to hell Duke. That's how
That's
that
like
goes.
Ramma Jamma Yellow Hammer. Give
Basically,
them. Okay, go ahead.
number 2, even though it was originated by the U.S. Navy, as I did my research, I am using Utah State's version of "I Believe That We Will Win." And if you YouTube Utah
Ah,
State,
I,
I,
I believe. I
I
believe.
believe,
I
I
believe.
believe that we, I believe that we, I
I
believe
believe
that we
that
will
we.
win. I
And
believe that we.
then that it. And when you watch it, you just feel some kind of way too.
Man,
Just
you
seeing
can't
it in
help but
its
just
full
feel it
blend.
all in your bones. I get goosebumps every time I see it.
Man, if I was in that place, I'll be like, yeah, let's play. Go ahead. I'm sorry, got distracted
Yes.
there.
And then obviously, for me, it's personal. But number 1, are you ready? Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
darn right. Howdy
I
tie.
kind of got somebody. Look, we flim flam,
Darn
them
right.
bam. Oh
This
miss.
is the only thing I do. So this is the bad thing about and now I'm in. I'm in. I got the degrees. I'm in. However, I just hate when we losing. That I be like, don't do that, cause we ain't finna beat nothing out of nobody, cause we lose.
Yes,
That's
yes,
the only
yes,
bad part about it when you lose and they do it. But I
yes.
don't. I guess I don't really have them in order, but I got.
The
It
only
kind
reason,
of paid me.
before you get started, the only reason I put mine in order is because I knew that number 5 was not going to be a necessary chance. I knew that was an outlier, so I just wanted to put that one out the way. But yeah,
Okay, so it pained me to even put this in there, but if I step outside of myself, when they play Rocket
I
Talk,
knew you was going to do Rocket Top. I knew it.
if I could just step outside of myself, and I think a part of it is, man, that I'm from Tennessee, so like just to hear them
Oh
words
yeah,
like
yeah.
Rocket Top, we'll always be home, sweet home to me, good old Rocket Top, Tennessee. So the Osborne brothers, that came around 1970. That wasn't original, but once they started singing it, it became a part of the heritage, the tradition. So that besides my, they ain't even no rival now. They used to be more of a rival for Florida, but that fell off after all them losses. Anyway, um, Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Another good one. Yeah.
When they do that little Jayhawk,
Man, that look, it's like a cult.
yes. I was like, that's pretty cool. I did this one at first, but I know that they say this. Oh,
I-O.
I'm about to say, what you waiting for? I know you didn't go to school there, but you know the rest. So in the football games, they do it.
Mm-hmm.
But like sections, no, I guess you get sections that know they supposed to say OH and the other sections say IO and they go around the stadium. It's pretty cool. I believe it, that made it.
Mm-hmm.
And Are You Ready? But that was, I couldn't leave out the boys of old Florida
I know.
in the fourth quarter. Because when we all link up and sing and rock, and then through all types of weather, we all stick together. Then we lean and hold that lean. You got to hold it, Brian, to one side.
Yes.
Then you say, boy, FLORIDA. Go Gators.
I
So
hope.
that's more than 5, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got an honorable mention. Um, this come from the HBCU world. You want me to want me to sing it?
Go ahead.
I'm so glad I go to TSU. Bum, 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 bum. I'm so glad. So then they sang that a couple of times, and then they say, I'm so glad I go to TSU, singing glory, hallelujah, woo! And the band be playing, and I love the band, and so that I get a little excited when I hear them do that. But yeah, that was one of my honorable mentions. Was
I used to tear up and
TSU's.
I used to tear up laughing when Ole Miss girls used to sing that song during warm ups, and I would just be like, all these people are just walking around just like in awe of them singing it while they're down there stretching and warming up when Ashley Awkward and all them. And I would sit there and I'd be like, these people don't know that
That's somebody else's song.
that's somebody else's chant.
Yes.
But I let it
So,
be.
um, but yeah, it's a lot of good ones out there.
Some really good. It was hard to narrow down because I could have gone for days on honorable mention. Like I could have said the Rock Chalk Jayhawk, because that one is literally, it's kind of eerie how like cultish it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, what? Wait a minute, y'all putting a spell on this team? What is happening?
Mm.
And it was another team that do something like we the winners, you the losers, or something. They were pointing back and forth. We
Oh,
winners, you
losing
losers.
team, winning team, losing team,
Yeah,
winning team.
yes, yes. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, Utah State does a good version of that as well.
they do that one too. I didn't see
Utah
them on that.
State's their in game experience is special. They do a really good job. But there's a bunch of teams that do that one as well. Obviously, yes, that was a
So
good top 5 there. I like that. That was fun
yeah.
to look up and see the different ones.
Well, this is not a top 5, but just name a couple of. There are only a couple of places in the world. I'm patting myself on the back as we speak.
Oh my,
That you know that you don't have to say anything and you can just make a gesture and people will know this is your school. Would you like to guess who one of them is?
what you got? You gonna do your arms?
Right. You know, you do the Gator jump.
Yeah,
I ain't gotta say nothing. I ain't gotta say go Gators or nothing. I
yeah,
make that one motion, you know.
that's it.
What I say hook 'em?
Hook 'em
I ain't gotta
horns.
really say hook 'em.
Nope.
I just gotta throw up the gang sign. Okay, it ain't a gang sign.
Well,
if if I'm talking about the U, I ain't really gotta say the U. I
nah,
just throw
you
my
just
little hands
flash that
together.
you.
So it's a
Uh,
couple. It's only a couple of things, special places like that. I'm happy that I go to one of them. But yeah, um, what's our next 5? I hadn't even. Uh,
we'll come up with something. I don't
I
know.
know what though, people. Look, can we just say this right fast before we
What's
go
that?
to Winter Soldier now?
Mm-hmm.
Silver Arm.
So,
People, stop making these NBA specifically. Pick your best. Take $15
oh
and you pick a
God,
player,
yes.
or which team would you be uh pick out of this, and they don't made a team A, B, C, D, or whatever. And what was the other one? Now the other one was kind of cute. If I could know why you made certain people on certain days, this the person that's gonna shoot a 3 for you
Mm-hmm.
at the end based on your birthday. I'm curious as to why certain people were on those months rather. But y'all gotta stop.
Look,
Especially if you don't know enough about basketball. Because that
no, those are
$15 made me
terrible.
mad.
The one that came across you this weekend was off, and yeah, we talked about it already off air, but yeah, it was terrible. But since you brought up the one about your birthday month, and they're the one that you need to shoot a 3-pointer for you, if we're gonna do that, take Ben Simmons off the list. If y'all put him in January one more time, I'm gonna scream because
Well,
I'm be sick if I got to have Ben Simmons in charge of making a 3-pointer for me.
the why is he in there? That's the question.
He not a
So
shooter. See that 'cause somebody don't like January apparently, because
right,
everybody
like
else was a
if his
shooter.
birthday in January and you was like, okay, well, okay, we just picked whatever month they birthday in, that's the month we gave them. But I don't know that that's the case because I feel like LeBron's birthday in March or something.
You finna have me look this up.
And so
Seeing
I wasn't sure why they picked him. I was like, is this random?
his
Or,
birthday is July 20th. Nope, it is not in
yeah,
January. So
well, he a July baby. I don't know what they was doing. I don't know what the reason. So again, if you make these, make them have some kind of sense. I was,
yeah, he
I
was
was pleased.
born.
Look, by the way, I was pleased with my person.
I'm sure you were. You had no worries.
Yeah, I was very pleased.
Oh man, he was born in 1996. Ben Simmons, Lord, here, baby.
Let me tell you, I was talking to my mom the other day. We walked. I said, "Mom, it's the kids out here. They're gonna be saying I was born in 2000." Now that
I
don't seem like
know.
a not, but when somebody say they was born in like 1905 or 19, you be like, dang. And at some point, people gonna be like, "You was born in 2000?"
Yeah, one day,
Like, yeah, I was born in 2000,
Lord's willing, we stay on Earth that long.
2020. You mean if the Earth make it long enough, we don't destroy it?
I misspoke, but yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah, we don't destroy the place. Um, which we trying. Lord have mercy. That's another story.
All
All
right.
right, let's talk about Civil Arm.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 1, New World Order. We had a week off from WandaVision. to recuperate, and now we are right back with another Marvel show on Disney Plus. Your requests have been heard. Your messages, your emails,
Sorry,
your
LeBron's birthday in December. Go ahead.
okay. So yes, for people that have reached out, your messages have been heard, and we are taking that into consideration. We will not recap the entire episode for you. We apologize to all those who may or may not have seen the episode. Go check it out. But we're gonna hit some high points. First of all, Sam Wilson, the Falcon, he has been working since the blip. He has been working with the Air Force, doing different things. He's out there and being Falcon, basically. He's taking down different little terrorist groups. This one in particular that they start the show with, he's out there to save another member of the Air Force. And Backdrop the Leaper is the leader of this group. And if people remember Backdrop, he was at the beginning of Captain America Winter Soldier when Steve Rogers and them infiltrated that base.
AKA George St. Pierre, the
Yes, George St.
championship
Pierre.
MMA wrestler. Go ahead.
Yes. So Falcon's out there fighting over him, getting his man back, and almost causing a little bit of a war, trying to fly over airspace that's not allowed. So
On territories they ain't supposed to be.
but he winds up taking care of that situation without harm. So we fast forward to, let's just tell you what Bucky's doing. Bucky's having nightmares. Bucky is on the struggle bus since being blipped back into existence.
Well, they had Bucky doing a lot more killing than I think I realized. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he had nightmares of his times back when he was the Winter Soldier and under that hypnotist, and he was out there killing for Hydra. So he was out there doing all kind of stuff. Well, apparently during his time of reflection, and obviously he's, the brainwashing has been taken control of by Shuri. She's cleansed him of everything, and he has made him a list of people that he wants to, basically show amends for killing and things like that. Well, or anybody that he's killed for, he goes after, and he's trying to make amends that way. And he puts a senator in jail that would had him doing dirty work. He gets her caught up, thrown in jail. He has made friends with the father of a young Asian man that he killed during his time as Winter Soldier. We saw in the flashback in Nightmare how he killed that young man. He makes friends with this guy's father in Brooklyn, which he's moved back to Brooklyn. That's hilarious because that's where he started as Bucky and Steve back in the day. So he's back in Brooklyn, make friends with the old Asian man, and actually goes out on a little date that the old Asian man sets up for him with the bartender. So that's interesting because they didn't get to finish the date. He basically has
They
a little
really didn't
meltdown
go nowhere. They stayed at a job.
and played
Battleship.
Battleship, Lord. So who knew the Battleship was even still a game? But yeah. So he's in the middle of that quote unquote date, and he just has a moment because she brings up the boy's father and how he's been struggling since his son died and doesn't know how he died. No one knows how he died. No one gives him information. So he has a little meltdown and goes to. He was on his way to admit his wrong and how he killed the man's son. He doesn't do it. He shows restraint. He's in therapy. That we see that he's talking to a therapist. Therapist asks him, why he only has like 10 numbers in his phone. Sam has been trying to text him. He hasn't been replying to Sam. So we don't know, when because the whole episode, they never get together in this first episode. So I don't know when it's going to be. Sam has given up the shield. They had a ceremony basically to put all of Steve Rogers' memorabilia in the Smithsonian.
I told Sam don't do it, but he ain't listen.
and they're basically the government. The government official let you believe that he's doing the right thing because it needs to be in the Smithsonian, and for people to come and see, it needs to be put up there. And Sam did it because he felt like the shield was for Steve. It wasn't his. It wasn't. It was all Steve's, and with Steve, quote unquote, gone, that it needs to be put up on a pedestal. As something to honor him, and so that's why I did it. War Machine was there. We see Don Cheadle's War Machine. I can't think of his actual name in the show at this point. It'll come to me in a minute.
No, I don't know.
So yeah, War Machine was there. Asked Sam why he's giving up the shield. And Sam tells him basically that he felt like I said, he felt like it was for Steve, and the shield wasn't his, and this, that, and the other. So the shield is quote unquote in the Smithsonian. He goes to Sam, that is, goes down to Louisiana where he's from, sees his sister and her kids. Sister is running their family's shrimp and seafood business, and it's not doing well. They're not making a lot of money. They're struggling. They try to go get a loan, and the bank won't give them a loan because Sam doesn't have any income from the last 5 years. Well, Sam been gone, just like billions of other people. So yeah, they don't get anywhere with the bank. You can tell there's a lot of tension between him and his sister, so I hope that gets explored more. And I think it's more or less to do with the fact that he went off to be in the Navy.
So yeah, Brian, you're doing the same thing they asked us not to do, to the short of it, because you're going through everything. Like,
he went off to be in the Air Force, and she actually stayed home with her family and helped out with the business. So we got to go from there, and there is a terrorist group called the Flag Smashers out there doing dirt. Basically, they don't like the fact that things are back to normal, I guess, for whatever normal purposes are, and they liked it when the world was in chaos, when everybody was missing and struggling, and this little group, which clearly somehow, I think during this show we're gonna find that the Super Soldier program was reenacted, because there's a member of this group that is very strong, and they're out there robbing banks and doing different things. It's very clever how they did it. They get all these people together who are not necessarily part of the group, but they all get them to wear their mask and run all over the place with the police grabbing up people, grabbing up all the wrong folks. That's hilarious how they did that. So, yeah, so the Flag Smashers are going to be something to look out for. And just, I guess the only other big thing would be the end reveal, where that same senator that was telling Sam he's doing the right thing by giving up the shield so they can put it in the Smithsonian is on TV, basically announcing the next Captain America, which we're going to find out.
They announced him and he came out there. And I was just like, see, now I told you not to get that sword up, that shield up, and you ain't listen.
So, yeah, for those who don't know, the new Captain America is being played by actor Wyatt Russell. I think that's his name on the show. I don't know.
Well, this is what I'm curious about. Well, how he get superpowers?
That's why I'm saying I think the Flag Smasher deal was supposed to make us put it in our mind that there's somebody out there real strong.
I know, but
now we get to see
to do if he's running around here with powers like Captain America.
Yeah, we get to see the new Captain America. Now that really hammers the fact home that somebody has reinstated the Super Soldier program.
Right.
But and according to certain leaks, I believe that the Super Soldier serum that this new Captain America has been given basically has a way to kind of control that the government can control you. So I think that's going to play out some kind of way.
Well, I I'm interested to see. I like the backstory role again because we didn't know what was going on with Sam's life. We got a peek into Hawkeye that he had a whole family in one of them shows. I guess was it Ultron?
Age of Ultron, yes.
Yeah. So we got a peek that he had a family life outside because we really don't know what they be doing. Like obviously they can't be fighting all the time. We don't know what they be doing. The important part for me was one, we got to see how it looked when you come back and you ain't been working for 5 years and they probably don't took your house, car, whatever you had or somebody.
Hmm.
Um, that was interesting because I was like, yeah, I never really thought about if you just been missing for 5 years, um, you just integrate back in and you don't have a job. Also, speaking of
How do
jobs,
they get
do they
paid?
not get
Basically,
money? Right? Do you not
right,
get money for working for the government?
right.
I feel like you should get some kind of um
That's another way. Just like in WandaVision, they were asking questions that us as viewers ask. The banker casually asked him, "So the start, like, did he fund y'all before he
right, because
passed away?"
you just be like, y'all all seem to have like somewhere to live. What
Right,
how y'all living if Sword and what's the other one before
Shield.
Sword?
Mm-hmm.
Shield them up paying y'all. So that was
Interesting.
a curious question. Um, we already know that what's not gonna get the shield back because he was out there tossing it in one of them trailers,
Right.
tossing against the tree. So either he gonna get a shield back or the shield back. Not sure. That should be interesting.
Interesting.
These are longer, quote unquote. Um,
Yes.
but this first one's boring, honestly. It was nice. I was like, this y'all gave us all that energy early, and then y'all was like, let's give them a good boost because then the rest of this finna be as slow as can be.
Yeah, they get you in with a bunch of action to start you off with Falcon and going after that terrorist group, and then the rest of the episode was basic,
It's slow.
backstory trying to get. I think it was
Yeah.
just more or less setup, which obviously they had to
I know
do,
they better get it together though.
but they got five. They don't have 8 more episodes. They got only 5 left. So
Right. They got more minutes, I guess. Maybe the minutes all kind of add up to be the same how they did, but yeah, they got some work to do because I was just like, okay, I'm liking understanding. Okay, these little things that like you say, you be like, yeah, how do they get money? And yeah, what does it look like if you've been gone for 5 years and just pop back into the world? And I do want to know something that happened though. She as in Sam's sister kept insinuating something happened before. Like she was like, when you left and kept, and I was like, what happened? Like you keep bringing that up to him.
yeah, he taught he and she kept throwing that back at him, like how he left to go.
You wasn't here, and I was like,
He
okay,
left to go to the Air Force, and left her to help with the family business, and that's that.
so
You know.
did
And
something
how
really
and who is
bad?
their daddy? Because she acted like their daddy was big time. So I don't know who their daddy is.
Did they even show us pictures of the family?
I mean, obviously, you and I were watching it on the computer screen, so it was kind of hard to see. But they did have some on the boat. It
Yeah,
wasn't
I
real
was
clear.
just like, yeah, I'm curious. So anyway, well, hopefully Friday is better because I wasn't disappointed. I was like, okay, they finna build us a backstory. Now we got that. Y'all need to pick it up because I was like, I need more action. Because I mean, I sat through one division with the fun stuff and it was kind of laid back. I don't want to sit through another one like that. I want some action
Yes, but
personally.
I will say this: everybody that saw the episode beforehand, all those YouTube guys that, and they talked about, for everyone that was wanting more of a Marvel type show, the first couple of minutes, you already know it's right back to how Marvel used to be, and this is true. Those first couple minutes, it's like, wow, that's real. All this action, and he's up there and flying all around with his wings, and oh, Red Wing, he got some upgrades.
Oh Lord,
Red Wing is now
that's hilarious.
he's able to basically voice command Red Wing, which is pretty cool. Every
Yeah,
time they've had him in a movie or whatever, Red Wing has more. like
capability.
something different about Red Wing. Like he's got more bells and whistles, so that's pretty cool that they keep upgrading him.
I must have been asleep because I ain't seen that on them other movies.
Hmm.
I ain't never seen him call out Red Wing. Is this something in the
See, he never
comic
calls him
book?
out before he just deploys him
Oh,
on the others. That's what I'm saying. This was that was what was due about it. He was actually like an AI where he could have voice commands at Red Wing.
oh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
hopefully somebody can find a job because it didn't seem like he was working either. Him
Yeah,
or Bucket. I'm like, how y'all living and y'all ain't working?
yeah. So I'm gonna need them to go on and get together because it's called the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I don't want to see them in two separate areas anymore. I want them to come on and get themselves
Well, if
together.
he don't answer the phone, Brian, what you want Sam to do?
And,
Sam won't
yeah,
answer his calls, Brian. What you
well,
want from him?
I'm looking forward to Friday. I think that's gonna be.
Yeah, I think they pick it up because they deflated it. I was like, okay, we back at the action, and then I was like, okay, we not. we not.
Do you have
So right
anything
back
else
at
you
it.
want to talk about before we chop it up?
Oh, I wanted to give one more shout out to a HBCU, and I don't even know if you know the response to this. It's kind of like OHIO. HU, this is Howard University.
Mm-mm,
Do you know what this response should be?
mm-mm.
No.
Oh Lord.
I love it when people that go to, obviously I wouldn't do it 'cause I didn't go there. But yeah, you say, somebody say HU and you so say, you know.
Oh, okay. I have heard that. I've heard people say that before. Now that you say that.
Yeah. Shout out HBCUs. We love black colleges and universities.
Except for
Got the
Jackson, just except for Jackson State at this point. But that's just petty.
no, we love all black colleges and
It's just
universities.
petty. I'm just being petty.
HBCUs.
Look, and I'm people,
Being
people,
messy.
people. I'm joking. I am sincerely joking. Do not come for me.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It is a joke in the highest form of jokosity. So I'm
Yeah, I
making
don't think that's the word, Brian.
making up
But
words here on this Monday morning. Lord have mercy, I have struggled through this show. I'll be better next week, Jesus. I apologize. Lord,
okay.
Lord's will that I make it.
Is it? I was about to say tyranny. That ain't the word either. That's hilarious. Satirical. It's something like that.
Satirical.
Yes. Oh Lord, that's hilarious.
Well, at least we got our new mics.
Oh, I
So
just
we
want to say
nice.
one more thing, Brian. I forgot. So, people, don't be like me. I want JJ for my shot. It's so many people around me that's fully vaccinated, and I feel so happy for my people. Um, I'm getting pictures from my family, friends, like showing their little cards that they got their 2 shots. The quack quack. I just want JJ because I just want one and done. That's the kind of girl I am. But don't listen to, oh, this one is 94%. Oh, this is 85. Oh, this is 66. The thing about, one of the reasons that Moderna um and this just me like knowing statistics, and I took a couple epic classes. One of the reasons that um Moderna and Pfizer's efficacy rates high is because they show when and how much virus was out at the time when they were doing their testing, when they were doing their what's the word, Brian? Not testing, that first the
The trials of.
when it ain't piloting. Oh shoot. But anyway, when they were doing that and getting the people to volunteer
Mm-hmm.
before it became like uh the process you have to go through, shoot, to get the test, to even get to where the FDA approve it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, and if you could see a picture when Johnson and Johnson did their test, the numbers were off the chart. Like it was so the rates were so high, so much higher than when, and that speaks to, yeah, if it's more virus out and you did yours when it was less virus out, your efficacy is gonna be higher because the people had less of a chance to get it. And it don't really matter because at the end of the day, all three, nobody in their studies died or had like to be hospitalized, and that's what they want. Like they had mild to no, medium symptoms,
Right.
but nobody died. So at the end of the day, get whatever. I should too, but I'd rather have JJ. But that's the key, is not to have to go into the hospital or get found up dead.
Yes.
So get your shots, people.
Get out there and get vaccinated.
And I know it's hard.
As normal.
Word of mouth is gonna be some help because that's how my dad was able to heal.
Because T wants to get back to Ben Hill Griffin so she can lock up and do the lean.
No, Lord, I ain't been to Ben Hill in so long.
Well, look, I was sitting there thinking about that. I said, "Oh, they ain't done that in a while."
Yeah, they probably won't be saying touch your neighbor no more. They gonna just say stand by yourself and just rock with it, lean with it, rock.
What time is it?
Lord,
what time is it?
well, howdy, good people. And
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, darn right.
Howdy, gosh almighty, who the heck are we?
Hey.
Flam, flam, bam, bam. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ole Miss. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
What
go
time
Gators.
is it?
As always, I'm your host, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. God is still good, Davis.
Allegedly, this has been the Mackay T Show podcast.
Allegedly, God is good, bro. I can't believe you said
No, I
that.
meant allegedly this has been the Mackay T Show
Oh, I was
podcast.
about to say, Lord, that's blasphemous.
No, ma'am, did not. See, told you. It's been a rough show.
It's been tough.
Yes, yeah. So this has been the Mackay T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mac and T Show. This is the Mac and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mac and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mac and T Show.